going on, everyone? Welcome to the Purple People Podcast. This is episode 615. We're going to talk about the Jekyll and Hyde that this team is so far, 3 games into the season. But I just want to jump right into it. Adam, how are you
Hi.
feeling, man? You got to witness this live. How was it?
Might be the sorest I've ever been in my whole life. I know some listeners know about my weight loss journey. I'm down almost 100 pounds right now and been working on my legs and everything and trying to get to where I can get around a lot better, but I'm still limping a bit. I strained my calf a little while ago, so it's not easy, but went to a concert, went to the game, and oh man, this morning when I woke up, my legs were almost dead, I swear. But you know
Yeah,
what? Worth it all.
I love it. I, if you get a chance to go to U.S. Bank, and I've only been once, I'm not an expert by any means, but you have to go. Yeah, I would do the same, man. If I was in your position or anyone that can get there, make your best effort because it's going to be worth it. That stadium is absolutely beautiful. Um, and just like we all predicted in the battle of the backups, the Vikings win 48-10 because that's what we all had on our bingo card this year.
I wanted that 50 burger so bad.
That would have been amazing, honestly. I have a lot of thoughts on this game. We're trying to wait to see if West will jump in. Yeah, he said he'd be on in a minute or two, so we're not going to give away any game balls and donkeys yet. But I do want to throw up some comments because Andrew's already here with us. What's going on, Andrew? Thank you, faithful, loyal. Appreciate you for being here every week. Sergio's in here. What's up, dude? How are you? I've been wanting to go and see the Legacy Brick. Yeah, that's the first thing I would tell you. If you have one there, you can ask the staff. They have a map somewhere they can tell you about it, and you should figure that out because they told me exactly the region and like area it was. It took me 2 minutes to find ours, and I'm so grateful that we did that. I'm so happy. That's such a cool thing to have.
I
Um,
used that picture, I think, on my background on X.
yeah,
That is one cool brick. I don't
yeah.
go there when I go to all my games. I've been to 10 Vikings games now, and I still haven't physically, personally been to that brick, but I know where it is now, and I know it exists.
That's cool to be a part right there by the stadium, and that ship, that whole design, everything about how that whole thing is set up is really really cool. So,
I
um,
was so worried that my streak was going to end when I was walking to that game.
I know. Well, up until the last game that I saw, it's my first one at U.S. Bank. I was undefeated on all the games I'd seen the Vikings at too. Los Angeles against the Chargers in the Zimmer era, a couple times in Carolina, Houston. I was like, man, I'm doing great. And unfortunately, we ran into that one team that you might have heard of called the Kansas City Chiefs. But that's
Yeah, I got to
cool.
see the Vikings beat the Chiefs.
That's
Good
awesome.
times.
Yeah, I think
And I
Adam
know
said
it's
he's
correct.
10-0, which is insane. Yeah, you'd say, I don't know where if they have them, Sergio, if they have them around anywhere else, but that ship outside is where I saw the Legacy Bricks somewhere. They just got to find the spot because there's a ton of them. There's got to be thousands. But yeah, we'll wait. Hop in and talk a little bit of NFL news before Wes jumps in here. 0-4 at
Oh,
live days.
Sergio. Oh, no.
Yeah, some
0-4 games for Sergio. Not good.
crazy NFL weekend. This was a weirder one. So the Vikings got beat by Atlanta pretty handily last week at their home opener, and then the Falcons traveled to the Panthers, whom I thought were probably the worst team in the league next to the Saints, and they get shut out. Like no points scored at all. And the crazy thing is, I think I took a picture of this today. The stat line from this, yeah, the Falcons lost 30-0. They had more total yards by over 100, 11 more plays. The Panthers had 4.1 yards per play. The Falcons had 5.0. The Panthers had 15 first downs, and the Atlanta Falcons had 17. I don't know how, unless it's just strictly turnovers. I don't know how you lose that game.
Well, did you see too that Michael Penix got benched in that game? Kirk Cousins went in.
I suppose if you're getting beat down that bad, you have to throw someone in. But I didn't see that.
And by
That's
the
a
score,
that's
it
a
definitely
decision.
seems like Kirk didn't mount any kind of comeback.
That's certainly a choice. 3 games in, but I can't say anything. I was ready to throw JJ McCarthy in the trash after 2 games, so I'm a terrible fan. Yeah, weird. The Chicago Bears looked very good yesterday after starting
That's the game that blew
terrible.
my mind. Week one, the Cowboys come out. They look like contenders. They look like a great team.
Yep.
They don't look like it right now.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb getting hurt is obviously not ideal for the Cowboys, but give Chicago their flowers. I think, and we've said this on the show. I know I've personally said it. Now that most teams barely get a quarter of action, some teams differ, but it's definitely not the majority. When it comes to the preseason, they're only playing a quarter or two out of 3 whole games. You're using the first game or two to kind of warm up, which I think is crazy. If you're going to get injured, you're going to get injured. I know fans don't want to see it happen in the preseason, but I would want my guys to have as many live reps as possible because you hear coaches say this over the last 15 to 20 years so much, but practice and time on the field is so limited now compared to what it used to be. And I think that's an invaluable thing that's hurting teams, but that's never going to go back. Like, we're not going to revert back to that. So, yeah, I think by week 4, you're starting to kind of figure out what your team is, but you still have a lot of question marks because even if you're only 500, 2-2 is not a very good gauge of the team. The Vikings are 2-1, and up until this game, they've looked pretty bad 90% of the time. So I truly don't know what this team is yet, but now that they're peeling back the layers, it's good to see that they're showing glimpses of what they were last year now on both sides of the ball.
Are the Vikings technically in first place in the division right now?
Let's see. I can tell you here on ESPN. Well, I thought they were going to tell me. You got to be better than that. Yeah, technically right now they are first in the NFC North.
Dang.
Now that'll depend on how tonight goes. If the Detroit Lions roll into Baltimore and beat the Ravens, I think they would be ahead. But it depends on like points scored and that stuff. I know they're certainly a better opponent than the Bengals, but the Bengals were undefeated coming into this game, so I don't know. I don't know anything about anything anymore, I have no idea what's going on. Wow, that's a stat right there. The Falcons.
Thank you for joining us, West.
Heyo.
Wes, fashionably late as usual. How are you, sir?
Hey, I do what I can. I am excited to talk about this football game with you guys. Kyle Smith, are you now the new president of the Carson Wentz fan club for the Minnesota Vikings? Do you believe in Carson Wentz?
I don't. No. I don't believe in any backup quarterbacks coming in. I have a feeling that this is just it's gonna end very badly, like a car crash. But I like the first one, the first game, of course. I'll tell you whose stock didn't go up after this game. Fucking JJ McCarthy. And you know what? Before I completely shit on this kid because I love him to death, I'm rooting for him. I'm well aware that the game changer in this game, and I'm not even talking about defensively, at the
Christian Darrisaw back at left tackle was huge huge for the Vikings getting him back on the field. You're 100% correct with that.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Jordan Mason, most of the time when I saw him run, it was going in that direction, wherever he was. And I just want to see the O-line healthy all of the season, and that's already not happened. Him coming back was a game changer.
Did you see the news on Donovan Jackson?
Yes, I said in the chat today. He did have wrist surgery today. So he had an injury in week 2, played through it this week, and he will be out, hopefully back after the bye week versus Philadelphia is what they're guessing. He is not going on injured reserve.
I could not for the life of me figure out, like, I was sitting in those stands and like, why is Blake Brandel in the game? Because I had no idea any of this was even happening with him.
Yeah, I didn't know. I said the same thing as well. I didn't know what was going on there. I was like, who's he filling in for? But, yeah, apparently this was something that happened in week 2, powered through it, aggravated it up until this week. Brandel came in, like Adam said. Had surgery today, confirmed by Kevin O'Connell, but they're looking for, because you guys know, the next 2 games for the Vikings are on the road, overseas, international games, and then they'll have a bye week. So looking for about a month recovery, less than a month. And I would suspect, if I was a betting man, that's when J.J. McCarthy's going to come back.
So the Vikings did not put J.J. McCarthy on IR for that exact fact, because if they don't want him to miss 4 games, then you got to take that bye into account. That's the 4th week, so that wouldn't count since there was no game that week. But also, do you really want to bring J.J. McCarthy back against the Eagles?
I want to ask you, because you're a believer more than I am, Adam. Do you want to bring him back? Because we got to see what this kid's made of, and you can't sugarcoat the schedule. You're going to try to win games. If Carson Wentz wins 3 games in a row, when do you bring McCarthy back? Is he gonna? I doubt it.
These are great
I highly doubt
questions
it.
because I don't know.
I don't know
This,
either.
I was really, really, really hoping as a Vikings fan that we were not going to have QB controversy year after year after year. But you know what?
Here we are.
It's Minnesota, and folks, this is what we do. We have QB controversies all the time. You're 100% right, Adam. This is a really complicated situation that the Vikings are headed into because it's all dependent on how Carson Wentz plays. So if the Vikings get rolling with Wentz at quarterback, and I think that, hey, in this game, he came out, he looked strong on that opening drive.
He said he was having fun. He didn't take deep shots like crazy. He didn't try for the deep ball very often at all. He took what was there, and it worked.
He didn't, but he looked like a competent veteran, which is what I was kind of saying on last week's episode I was hoping for. Can you just get out there and run the offense? And that's what Carson Wentz was able to do. He stood in the pocket, he took what was given to him, he distributed the ball evenly, and he didn't panic. There was a lot of panic from J.J. McCarthy out there. Now, like you said, if the Vikings get on a roll with Wentz, you run the risk where if you pull him and you put McCarthy back in and it looks like week 1 Vikings, now you've got that split in the locker room where players are going to go, hey, we were winning with this guy over here. We want him back out on the field. It's a very complex situation the team has to navigate. Of course, it's a moot point if Carson Wentz looks like Carson Wentz down the stretch, and you put McCarthy in, and McCarthy looks great. He looks like for that fourth quarter, J.J. McCarthy, okay? I don't know, man. There's a lot of different ways this can unfold for the team.
But keep in mind, the Cincinnati Bengals defense is pretty bad. And we got the Steelers coming up who are pretty good, and the Browns who just made Green Bay look rough.
Yeah.
So who knows?
That's going to be a rough game this week for the Vikings. That's a stellar defense. The only thing I like about it is that it's at a neutral site. Granted, it's in a different time zone and hemisphere on the other side of the sea. Cool. I'm going to give you what I thought about it because I thought about the show, and there's 4 ways it usually goes with quarterbacks. The 0.01 where somebody just comes in and looks like competent and is good from start to finish in their career. That rarely, if ever, happens. 2 is you have a Josh Allen arc, which we're looking for. Of I can see the potential, but he needs a lot of coaching and then eventually figures it out. Maybe that's where we're at with J.J. McCarthy so far, and it's really tough because I said this today. I don't know if it was to Kyle in a message or I think it was Kyle. I said, listen, I'm going to take the Adam approach. I'm not going to call this kid a rookie because he's not a rookie. Even though he only has 2 games under his belt, I got to call it what it is. He looks pretty bad, and the majority of it says it's not very good. And I understand there were some people missing, and Addison's coming back this week, like the full roster coming back. Thank God that's happening for this team, first and foremost. The third one I would say is the busts category, and I can't put him in there. It's not fair to put him in there yet.
Too early to tell.
It's too early.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like the Anthony Richardson situation where it's like, oh my God, what did we do? We've set the franchise back 3 years. I don't know where it lands for J.J. McCarthy, but I can tell you this right now. If we go week to week, which was not fair, that's social media, sports media bullshit that I don't want to do on the show. But if we did, right now it looks like they should have kept Sam Darnold because
Right now it looks like they should have kept Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones too.
Oh,
Indiana
yeah,
Jones looking like an MVP right now. My point for that is here's my negative on McCarthy so far, and I don't want to take away and talk negative about him the whole show. I'm doing observations left and right of the good that I've seen and what does it mean on the opposite side. I wanted Drake May for the body type. Strictly alone. If you want to have someone that's going to coach a quarterback, I want it to be Josh McCown and Kevin O'Connell. That's fine. J.J. McCarthy physically doesn't blow me away in any spot. It's all up here. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to call it a disadvantage, but it's not really like my first option. But if you look at the quarterbacks that have succeeded recently, and even with Kirk was a little bigger than McCarthy, these are bigger, stronger dudes that have pretty damn good arms, and they have the smarts.
Well,
Kevin O'Connell has a type.
here's the thing. What did we learn? What is the big key takeaway I think that we learned from that win against the Bengals? What is this Vikings team built to do, guys? It's built to run the football and play defense. And what did J.J. McCarthy do when he was in college, guys? He was on a team that ran the football and played some pretty good defense. That's what the Vikings are trying to do, Smith. So, and I'm still going to be a J.J. McCarthy defender here. We need him to calm down and not get happy feet. And I understand that, okay, so he had a screen door at left tackle out there for him and a backup center that was shooting the ball over top of his head. That was not doing the kid any favors out there, okay? We got the left tackle back. That's going to solidify one part of the line, okay? We hope that by the time McCarthy gets back, the rest of the line is maybe going to even itself out a little bit. That will help, okay? So we can get him in there, and we can have Jordan Addison back on the field. It's like we're not asking you to go out there and throw the ball 50 times a game, okay? We're asking you to, and I hate this term, can you be a game manager? Can you manage the game for the Vikings? Can you do what Carson Wentz did? Can you just kind of stand in the pocket and take what the defense gives to you and make those quick, easy reads? That's what I'm hoping for McCarthy.
Well, you're absolutely right, Wes, because that's where you start.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy comes in the game, he learns the offense, he learns to move the chains, he learns to control the clock, learns to be efficient, doesn't turn the ball over. And then from there, he can keep working on things and find his craft and hone that down. But right now, it feels like the Vikings are just a factory for repairing these quarterbacks that just couldn't make things work and somewhere else.
Yeah,
and here's my retort for you, Kyle. We're not going to argue because I don't think we're close.
No, but I love the debate because we're on a little bit different sides of it. So it's good conversation.
It is, and you guys are my friends, so like we all want them to. I don't care as long as they win. I really don't care what happens,
right?
Because they'll figure it out. But here's the two things that I take away from it is okay. J.J. McCarthy's team at Michigan with Harbaugh was run, defense, throw the ball, we need you. But the time that I needed him to do that in a pro game, 7 out of 8 quarters, he looked like shit. And it's not like, he made some throws that were a little overthrown, or man, if like yesterday, if he had thrown it to Jefferson and he had fumbled, we'd be like, well, if Jefferson holds on to the ball. No, he just looked fucking terrible. And the other part of that is, and it's 2 games. I'm throwing it out there. I know, guys, it's 2 games. Whether or not I want to pound the table and say, throw him out in the street now, the Vikings ain't doing that. So I understand it. I just want to think about, okay, we're in year 4 already of Kevin O'Connell. Kirk Cousins, Hall, Dobbs, Mullins. You get Sam Darnold last year. You have J.J. McCarthy. Now you've got Sam Darnold or J.J. McCarthy, and now Carson Wentz. That's like 7 quarterbacks in 4 years. That's not going to keep him here, no matter what, because I'm going to tell you what that equates to every time. That equates to a wild card playoff loss every time, and even eventually, Marvin Lewis gets fired from Cincinnati. Okay, I get it. What I want them to do is grow balls. If JJ isn't the guy, and I don't know if he is or isn't, go get your dude. If you have to give up 3 picks and put your job on the line, so be it. But go find your dude if this isn't it. But that's years away from talking about it.
If you're going to do that, you really have to commit to the suffering process of like, we're going to ride this out. And are we as a fan base willing to ride this out? That's a question. I don't know. We'll talk about that later on down the line. Right now, I think another big key takeaway from this game, I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love Jordan Mason as our running back 1 here in Minnesota. This kid, and I know, like you guys said, okay, it was Cincinnati, but this kid runs. He hits the holes hard. He is a good runner of the football. What an excellent offseason signing.
So good.
I'll tell you this. I said it yesterday, and it's no slight on him, but I said if that's what he can do, and this is no disrespect to Jordan Mason, I'm on record of this show saying I'm super stoked. He might be my favorite acquisition of the offseason, draft or free agency, right?
And they traded almost nothing to get him. It was great.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But I said it today to my trainer at work. I said, look, man, with the way this team's set up, if he looks like that, and you want to help McCarthy out, don't be surprised with those boatload of picks they have next year. They go get a running back in the first 3 rounds. Imagine you get a young stud like the Chargers got a Marion Hampton. He got put in.
I think he is our. I mean, he is our young stud.
He might be.
Right?
He might be. I don't see any reason why, especially how he's looking so far, that you get rid of him. But there is going to be a void with Aaron Jones, because I think last year was going to be the top of the mountain for him. He's already hurt this year. It's like, damn, because he had a couple of injury bugs in Green Bay. But I said it was like, oh, if he can do that, imagine if there was somebody even better. But I'm on your page, Wes. I love this kid, and I said it on this show.
I'm already thinking long-term contract extension. Like, what do we got to do?
But it's not like Jones is going to drop down to like a running back 2 right away. I mean, it is going to be a 1-2 punch. They're going to be like running back 1, running back 1.5.
What Aaron Jones brings to this team, good veteran presence, good locker room leader. I love his ability to like a bubble screen or like run him out and catch passes with the team.
I can see him doing real well in that 3rd down back role.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Like it's if he comes back and if he can still stay healthy down the stretch for the Vikings, they complement one another really well because they do kind of different things on the field for one another, but you can also interchange them out. Like it's not like one just has to be your 3rd down back.
And I did like what I saw when Xavier Scott got in the game.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was actually shocked. I don't think your running back 3 is going to come in and make like any kind of splash, but he looked fine. For what he is and what we needed him to do, he looked fine. And fine is great. In that situation, fine is great. This is hilarious because the Vikings posted on social media today, tell us with Metellus, what conspiracy theory do you believe in? And some of the things on there were great. The moon landing, flat earth, the ocean, stuff like that. But this is hilarious because I love a good Vikings conspiracy. I think the ankle sprain is BS, honestly. I think KOC knows he's not ready. I think 2 things can be true at once, and it just might so happen to be that we're going to give you the full amount of time to heal on that and take a breath, and that's fine. Look.
Couldn't they have at least put him in a walking boot?
That's where I was going next. He's in sneakers over there. I'm like...
He's just chilling out on the sideline.
You're not helping my point, guys. You're only making it worse. I don't know. I listen, I know I've said a lot of horrible things. And here's the thing. Here's my other reason for that is I feel like this team, they got the coach right. GM, I'm getting warmer on as the years progress. I'm like, okay, I see his path. It's not traditional. It's not my favorite, but he can do the job. They're getting in that place where we're like, dude, you're not going to have Brian Flores forever.
Brian Flores, we keep saying it. But man, he's the next head coach for some team in the NFL.
Somebody's going to take a chance on him.
We are lucky that he has been around as long as he has, because I am fearful that when Beeflo leaves this team, what happens to guys like Van Ginkel who fit so well in his scheme? Like, who's the next D coordinator? And this is like a way off season topic, but like, what's that drop off going to be? So that's why I'm really, the Vikings are really in this window of opportunity to win now while they have the players in place and the coaching staff in place to maximize and win with the talent on this team.
It's such a catch-22 because you got to be patient with your quarterback, but you can't be too patient.
I know.
It's a crazy one, and I'm not even bringing him in the same category as this, but you don't want it to be a Trey Lance situation. But I hope if they think that it is or they see what it is, they have the balls to move off of it. But it's too early to do that now. I want to give McCarthy the benefit of the doubt. And I think 2 months from now, in the middle of November, we're really going to have a grasp on, okay, is the game a little much for him at this phase and maybe they have to look elsewhere? Or is it, no, I see the progress. I want to look back in week 12 versus week 3 and say, I've seen J.J. McCarthy take 2 or 3 strides. And also the team is in a rhythm, and we have most of our people back. Because this is without Addison. Adam Thielen looks not good.
See how Carson Wentz kind of reminded fans that the Vikings have tight ends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot Josh Oliver was on the team.
Tony Romo was bringing it up on the broadcast that a little bit of that is having Darisaw back. So your tight ends don't have to stay in and block as much. They were able to get out and be more involved in the pass game. And I'll give them that a little bit, but you're right. I think that that's more of a veteran quarterback being able to see the whole field out there and just kind of knowing where to distribute the ball and take advantage of those mismatches out there on the field.
It's just this season has given me. I am my own donkey every week because
Yeah.
I see the potential here. Like I haven't felt this good about a team since like 2009, and they don't have nearly the studs, but they have some
That's
names.
great. You know, man, it took in 2009 the first 4 games of the season for that team to really start clicking and really start rolling. It wasn't until Favre hits Greg Lewis in the back of the end zone against the
play.
49ers for that 2009 team to, oh, we're here, folks. So
Yeah.
I like the slow start is disappointing, but I mean it's not unheard of to go on a roll all of a sudden and catch fire. Like we're fine. We're totally fine here.
But I don't disagree with what any of you had said about J.J. McCarthy. If you're the Vikings, you keep him off IR. You keep him ready so you can plug him in whenever you think he's ready. Roll with Carson Wentz until then, and I don't have a problem with any of that.
I really don't either. Have you guys talked about Isaiah Rodgers yet?
No, hey,
Nope,
we're right
we
here.
haven't
Check
even
it
done
out.
game balls or anything either.
Here
so
we
I'm
go.
waiting on you for that.
I'm putting it up here right now. It's going to go in the
Unanimous
chat.
game ball, Isaiah Rodgers.
Well, we got a bunch of game balls that we could give out. I mean, sure, Isaiah Rodgers is number one on that list, but like Mason Jordan should be on there. Will Reichert for the longest field goal in Vikings history, which is pretty sweet.
I'm jumping in right now. I usually like to toss to y'all first, but Levi
And Darisaw is 1,000% the game changer.
Oh, yeah.
Levi Drake Rodriguez is a monster. He jumped off the screen to me yesterday watching this game, and obviously we're going to give the unanimous game ball to the 99 rated Isaiah Rodgers. Holy shit! But that aside, that was a given. We'll talk about him in depth in a little bit. My personal one, that dude is a monster, and I kept seeing him disrupting plays, and I love the defensive line depth. Holy crap.
So I actually want to talk about something kind of interesting because before the game they do the player intros at US Bank Stadium, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, this place is going to pop real loud when Harrison Smith comes out, and they did.
Nice.
Awesome.
They popped real nice for Andrew Van Ginkel. But do you know who else got a really nice pop that I was not expecting? Was Jalen Redmond.
Oh, cool.
Cool, man.
The
Nice.
crowd loves him, I guess.
Oh my God, poor Jake Browning. I went down to look at the defensive stuff. 9 quarterback hits. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. What a performance yesterday. You felt, like you said, the Darisaw effect. You definitely felt the Harrison Smith effect on that one interception, the pick six.
The
Oh, yeah,
tip
he got
ball.
the hand on that one.
He got the hand on the tip ball that went to Isaiah Rodgers.
But Isaiah Rodgers had a pass deflected. I'm going to read it out here. It's insane to read
Yeah.
the stat line. 3 solo tackles, 2 passes defended, 2 touchdowns. 1 was a pick six, 1 was a forced fumble, then a recovery. And
by the way, that fumble recovery touchdown, when he punched that ball out, people in the stadium had no clue what was going on.
I had no idea what was going on the TV. And then I saw him taking off, and I stood up off. I was sitting on my coffee table, really close to my TV, and I go, no chance. That's not it. And then I didn't see if, when you can tell linemen start slowing down because they know the play is dead. When he ran into the end zone for the second time, I said, there's no way that's real. No way.
Yeah.
And that pick
Wow.
six, when he was returning that, he was running straight at where I was at in the stands. That was sweet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh boy, that's badass, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of highlights.
But I
in this
love the
game.
way they were all hamming it up on the sideline. Like, this team loves to have fun. They love playing with each other, and it shows.
You know, guys, I was thinking, man, Travis Hunter playing both ways out there for the Jaguars. I'm telling you, throw a bubble screen to Isaiah Rodgers out there on the field. That dude in open space is quick, man.
The wherewithal when he had that punch, the punch knockout to do the second touchdown, it happens so fast, and you can even see when it slows down how his brain processes and realize, and then he's just gone. Insane. A pick six in the game is worthy enough to get a game ball, but this had never been done in NFL history, and this happened in the first half. The first half. It was crazy.
Unbelievable performance. He was, if I remember correctly, wasn't he the first free agent signing that the Vikings had this offseason?
Apparently, Brian Flores was pounding the table for him.
And I remember when we were like, Isaiah Rodgers. And, okay. Like, I don't think we were over the moon for it. This is why we are not coaches.
Well, the thing about him was he was drafted by Indy, and he had gambling stuff that caused him to get released. And
Yeah, that's
he
right.
went to the Eagles, and he won a ring last year, but he wasn't one of their featured outside like starting corners. And it's like, oh, so we're getting the Eagles scraps. They can't keep depth. Fine, that's a good name. We have Byron Murphy and him. That'll be fine. I had no idea
Turns
this is
out.
what it was. Yeah, I had no idea this is what this guy was about. It's crazy.
He's a baller.
That's so crazy. Yeah, he deserves all the flowers for that. But I mean, looking at it yesterday,
I want to buy a jersey.
I kept looking at my nephew and some people in the stands when Will Reichert went up for the field goal. I'm like, are they trying this?
yeah.
Was that the longest field goal in Vikings history?
It was.
62 yards.
Holy cow, dude. What is going on with field goal kickers this year in the NFL? They're just drilling it from...
Unless
Well,
you play for the Falcons, they're good.
Yeah.
Here's the deal, too. And I watched the replay because it went up like 2 or 3 times after he made that. He could have made a 70-yard field goal with that one. If that would have been the same...
He's got a leg.
kick,
So much leg on that.
dude, he could have made a 70-yard field goal.
Will the thrill.
It's crazy. Donkey
And as
to
soon as he
Thielen.
kicked it, he knew. He knew.
See, I saw it on TV, and it looked like it was going to be just slightly right, but then it evened out, and I couldn't believe that he made it. And you just see how like pumped he was. And then I go straight to the comments when it's on Instagram, and somebody says, William the Thrillium, and that's my new favorite name for him.
He's so dorky, and
He looks
like
12!
I know, he looks like he's about 14 years old out there on the field for the Vikings. I love the way kickers and punters are such a unique breed from the rest of the positions in the NFL, man. It's wild. Absolutely wild.
So picking a donkey isn't going to be easy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where I want to go with this. I mean, you could go with backup center, maybe.
Michael Juergens, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty commanding performance overall. I see there's an Adam Thielen there in the chat.
I don't want to give one to the defense at all because they played lights out.
Yeah, I'm not giving one to Thielen. I mean,
He had a drop, at least one.
Yeah, let me
Didn't
look
like it,
here.
but I think Juergens might be the only somewhat really reasonable one, and even him, I don't know if it's worthy of the whole donkey award.
You guys can give it to me again like you did week 1. Be like, hey, stop being negative. The kid didn't even play, and you're crapping on him for the episode. Yeah, I didn't have this game on my bingo card at all going this way. I thought that this would be a competitive game. Jake Browning historically had that game in Cincinnati, which is really hilarious because I don't know when the last time the Vikings have won in Cincinnati is, if they ever have, but Cincinnati's never won in Minnesota, so that's also hilarious that keeps going. Because they only come to Minnesota every 8 years unless there's that weird game, out of conference, whatever, divisional place thing that they have. But I thought
What was
that
that
was
stat
hilarious.
where the Vikings were, 1-8 or 1-9 when Romo and Nance were on commentary?
yeah.
Get them the hell out of here. Who's going to be calling these games while they're in London and Ireland? That's what I want to know.
Does the NFL Network have their own team?
I have no idea. I mean, I'll just ask Google.
I believe, was that Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner?
Yes.
Ooh, that'd be
That's
fun.
that's what I'm going to say.
The
I'm too busy
Ireland
with this
NFL
cat in my
game.
face.
Now, you know what, man? While you guys are Googling and playing with your kitty cat, I'm going to continue to give some flowers to Carson Wentz
Oh,
here.
no.
Who is it?
It's you guys' favorite. It's Craig Olson and Joe Davis.
Oh.
Pam Oliver and Jamie Erdahl is a sideline reporter, and Mike Pereira serves as a rules analyst. Damn. I don't mind Greg. You guys don't like him. I don't mind him.
I can
Ugh.
try to ignore him.
Yeah. I don't want to give away a donkey here. Everything was crazy in this game. Like I said, historically, Jake Browning was pretty good against the Vikings. He had that crazy clip where he's like, you never should have cut me. And it's like, okay, bro, relax.
You can give the donkey to me because my Uber driver pulled in across the street and I didn't recognize it. And I was sitting there, and sitting there, and I was like, "What?" It tells me to walk to a different point. I start walking the wrong direction.
Oh no!
I botched that whole thing pretty bad, so I get my own donkey for that.
I think
Hey,
my
it's
dad
easy.
and I.
It's easy to get lost around there.
I think my dad and I walked like 12 blocks to get there, and I said we should have Ubered. Yeah, this sucked. I should have just manned up and took an Uber for that one. But I would rather walk than do those scooter things, man. I've never done one of those, and I have a feeling I would crack my skull in half over like a pebble or something. So that's my boomer thing
I
today.
feel everyone has a story getting lost to Vikings football games if you're not from the area, apparently, because we got lost one time trying to go to the Metrodome. We were on the light rail, and we took trying to read the map where you don't know where all you've got to get on and off at is really confusing, and we took the wrong line, and we were going in the wrong direction, and we're like, fuck it, and we got to write it all the way back. Yeah. That was not fun. But we got there eventually.
I had this wrong. So I thought they were playing the Browns this week. It is the Steelers, in fact. So they're going to play the Steelers in Ireland and then the Browns again in London, which they've had good success against before. But this Browns team is not your grandmother's Browns team. This defense is very, very scary. I don't know what to think of the Steelers. I like how we're already done talking about this Bengals game because it was so bad for them. I don't know. I don't really want to read the stats. I mean, we can.
I
but-
felt bad for the people at the game that were all dressed up in their Cincinnati Bengals gear, all face painted and stuffed animals on them, and the whole
man.
9 yards just going wild.
They kept showing the one guy on TV with like the oversized hat. I'm like, I think that's the worst thing you can wear when your team's getting the shit kicked out of them because you already look goofy, and then it's like, man, you got to take that off. Then you got to carry it. You got to do like the walk of shame carrying the hat.
So how much of a difference would it have made if Joe Burrow was out there for Cincinnati?
It would have been all the difference. All the difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm still a believer in that dude. I just think, okay, you've opened up Pandora's box on here because this could go 7 ways. I think the Bengals are the worst run franchise in the NFL because they're
Jacksonville says hello.
Jerry's
but they're 2-1.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think if they played each other next week, Jacksonville would win. I know that's easy to say because Joe Burrow's not there, but how do you put in 34% of your salary cap to your quarterback and 2 receivers? When historically he's been in the league 6-7 years now, he gets injured all the time. He is now the Andrew Luck, the injury-prone quarterback that's really good.
Sam Bradford.
Yeah, I see what you're doing there. I would never put Sam Bradford in that category because Joe Burrow shits all over him. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, but Bradford was supremely talented as well.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I don't like that they are truly wasting it, but he also kind of asked for it. I mean, you bring him up, Kyle. That's a fascinating thing to dive into if you just love football and you want to think and go 20 different ways of like, oh my God, they're cheap as hell. They're publicly known to be cheap as hell. They fought with their... If the Vikings did this, I would write them hate mail and send them pictures of me with my middle finger, like jumbo size, poster size. If Trey Hendrickson was on the Vikings and had 17 sacks 2 years in a row, and then they were like, well, we don't want to pay him, I'd be like, I'm going to light your car on fire. What are you doing? They pay Jamar Chase as you should. They pay Joe Burrow as you should. Yep. T. Higgins, I'm sorry, you can go find another wide receiver too. He's not going to be that good, but you have to protect him. And if Joe Burrow pounds the table and says, I don't want Penei Sewell, I want my college wide receiver. Okay, you listen to him. But you got to do better than that because this is just a thing. And I understand he has turf toe. Maybe that was going to happen regardless. But he gets the shit beat out of him back there. And it's like, are you guys going to protect the one thing that's keeping you afloat here? Because you see what it looks like now with him gone. They're in for a long year. And everybody, before Jake Browning even took a snap, people were like, trade for Jameis Winston right now. Kirk Cousins is sitting in Atlanta. Go right now. I don't think that either one of them would want to come to the Bengals because that offensive line is like a screen door.
Atlanta looks like a mess with Michael Penix right now, too.
I love this anarchy in the NFL right now.
I can't believe the whole Parker Romo thing. So last week, Parker Romo makes 2 field goals, wins the game. This week, he misses them both and they lose.
No, they played us last week. He made 5.
Oh, 5, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he made a lot last week.
Everything.
He made everything, and it was off the street. And then the worst part is they didn't keep. You can't keep 2 kickers on the roster, so they had to cut Younghoe Koo, and it's like, what just happened? I love the anarchy that's happening right now. I don't
That whole front
understand
office is to be like, we thought we did that right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was the move they were supposed to make. I don't know what's going on. I know that the Colts being 3-0 shocks me, and I heard this stat today. Shout out to Rich Eisen. You guys know I love that show. Daniel Jones has some weird stat in NFL history in the Super Bowl era where he's the only quarterback to do this. I think it's 3-0 to start, 3 passing and or rushing touchdowns in the first 3 games.
And they didn't punt for 3 games or something like that.
How lucky are they that they paid him, $15 million and said, hey, our guy might not be healthy or he might not be ready. Why don't you come in here? That looks like the genius move of the offseason.
We made fun of him for betting on himself, and we're like, dude, you should have just stuck around and been a backup in Minnesota. Right now, he's proven everyone wrong. He bet on himself and won big time.
And he is maximizing that compensatory pick from Minnesota, and I love it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
Man.
Hell yeah, Adam. That's funny. Let's go to. I want to see what his stats are now. Now I'm going to make myself even more mad because he's not on the team anymore.
Could we get as high as like a 3rd round pick from Daniel Jones?
I think it's a 4th.
A 4th?
4th rocks.
You can do pretty well in the 4th. Actually, Minnesota's had quite a bit of success in the 4th round in its history.
So he has 3 passing and 3 rushing touchdowns through the first 3 games. So he's accounted for 6 touchdowns in 3 games, and they've won 41-20. I'm trying to find. I'm sorry, guys. I know that you guys don't want to hear about Daniel
Side note,
Jones.
while we're talking about replacement quarterbacks, I did not expect Marcus Mariota to come in and lead a big old win.
And he almost killed his head coach in the process. Holy crap. He trucked Dan Quinn yesterday. It was scary. You got to think about it. Most of these coaches are like 50s and 60s, man. They're not physical specimens like the players. Like, hope he's all right.
Unless you're Kevin O'Connell, who's only, 40?
Dude, he's like, 40 years old, like 6'5", jerk.
I still hate that the Vikings head coach and their GM are both younger than me. Hate it.
That sucks, yeah.
But I also do have the white and the beard, so I know.
I feel you on that one, brother. Oof.
It's really nice to see them getting Justin Jefferson involved out there on offense as well, too.
And he was having fun, too, which was nice
Right
to
on,
see.
man.
I know
it's
him
kind
and
of one
Chase
of those,
were talking shit to each other before, friendly, of course, because they're bros, but thought it was funny that he came out with more yards. I love the fact that Chase is the one that got the ball knocked out for a fumble.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. And that's not like Jamar Chase. No disrespect to him. Let's not get it twisted. There is 1A and 1B, and it depends on the week in the NFL. And it's Jefferson and Chase, and it's been that way since they both got in the NFL together.
The force on that punch to knock that ball out was wild. He gave her.
Unbelievable.
Feel bad for Bengals fans.
It's kind of one of those real super obvious statements, but I mean, like, it has to be said. You've got to get number 18 involved in your game plan in Minnesota, and that's what Carson Wentz was doing. It was
but instead they got Max Brosner involved.
Yeah, it was only 75 yards for him, no touchdowns. So we're kind of used to seeing Jefferson go off for a little more than that and find the end zone a little more than that. And I think he will, but you're gonna run the ball a lot on this team. I think regardless of whoever your quarterback is. But man, it's like 18 has to be your focal point out there for you.
And with Mason getting his first Vikings touchdown and then his second Vikings touchdown, it's like, all right, okay.
Yeah,
all of that.
Jordan Mason had his career day, which is, he was a backup in San Francisco. Now he's elevated to the 1 year.
Man, you know what I love and respect so much about Justin Jefferson is that slow start to the season. He hasn't found the end zone as much as he would want to. But when another player scores, he is the first person up there, and he's genuinely excited, and he's celebrating with them, and he's happy for their moment. Like, he's not, he wants to score too, but he's not selfish. Like, he is such a team player, and that's such a rare quality to have from that caliber of player.
I want to see more between Josh Metellus and Isaiah Rogers because they are they were having such a good time with that game. Especially on the sideline, they point to each other and make the fans cheer. It was so much fun.
This is fun to go back and watch. On replay, he actually hit Chase's arm so hard
He
he
did.
lost the
He
ball.
punched it so
Holy crap.
hard.
My 49ers friend is so bummed they didn't keep Mason. Yeah, but they got Mac Jones instead. You got to be pumped about that. Mac Attack, dude, they're 3-0. I did not have that coming with George Kittle being out. If you had told me Brock Purdy and George Kittle are going down, I'm like, well, they're tanking.
And now they don't have Bosa either, huh?
Who?
Bosa?
Bosa, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I don't know what I thought I heard you say. Yeah, he tore his ACL. He's done for the year. So that sucks. Speedy recovery to you. We don't like injuries. We're not going to cheer for those. That sucks. Got to give a shout out for recovery and hope he's all right too for Najee Harris. Tore his Achilles yesterday and it was gross.
Yeah, that's tough.
It was terrible, man. And my brother said too, you guys know my brother's a diehard Chargers fan. It's like, he's never had an injury history. Of course it happens to my team. And I said, shut up. You're 3-0 and you're going to win your division this year. Enjoy it.
And then you're going to lose in the first game of the playoffs.
Yeah, probably.
God, Adam is Justin Herbert's #1 hater. It's
hey, he's got to prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That's what I want.
You say that now, but I would have traded many players you love on this team to have that dude at quarterback for us. I definitely would. I don't want this to be known. I'm tired of this team already having the rep of, we'll just get a mid-level guy that needs a new start and we'll repair him here. I don't want this to be a garage. I'm not here to fix things.
Yeah, I was joking the other day, but I was like, this is right where we belong as a franchise, where it's like Carson Wentz has been terrible, but he can come in for a season and we'll roll with you. We'll win some games with you, Carson Wentz.
Yeah. I just hope the Vikings don't do what we had talked about before. Anthony Richardson is a no-no. Do not bring him here. We don't want it. We want nothing to do with him. Good.
Bryce Young.
I don't know, man. He looked fucking good yesterday. They might actually stick with him. I can't believe they beat Atlanta that bad. Andrew was saying before you logged on here, they didn't make it to their 30.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Well, yeah, the Vikings win 48-10. The Bengals game, not what we expected, but we were pleasantly surprised. The defense looks as good as it's ever looked. Isaiah Rogers has the game of a lifetime. He is absolutely a lock for NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And
there's no way.
There's no chance. There's one going on tonight. Don't get me wrong. The Lions have great defense, but they're in Baltimore.
No one's I don't
know what they'd have to do to take that away, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have great defense, but they're in Baltimore. I'm willing to bet that'll be a tough game, and it's not going to be a historic night like it was yesterday afternoon. Now we look forward to the Steelers, and I'm going to click on that game just because I don't know what to make of the Steelers. I know they're competitive.
Are they good? Not good? I don't know.
Well, right now the matchup predictor is going at 57% leaning to Minnesota, which I understand. I picked them in fantasy for defense because they were the #1 ranked, and they have been absolute butt cheeks, and I got rid of them immediately.
Well, they probably got you, or Minnesota probably got you 37 if you had them.
33 points I saw on Instagram from somebody from a defense. That's insane. That's what quarterbacks give you when they have a great game. That's crazy. Rodgers, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Warren is the running back. I'm not really sure who that is. Receiving yards is also Warren, so he's got more receiving yards than DK Metcalf, which is nuts. TJ Watt is obviously who you have to look out for. They do have Patrick Queen. I forgot he went there. That's cool. The defense is very formidable. I don't know what to think of the offense. Rodgers, I would expect in this game, since he knows this Flores defense, they played him last year as a Jet, knows he's going to have to get the ball out quick. But we've seen already in adjusting in the first 3 games, they can play that too. And I don't know, watching this game tape, I'd be like, well, shit. That's what we have to play? Like, that's what we got to expect? I don't know that it'll be quite
I don't know
impressive.
if you repeat that performance, but this is definitely if you're the Vikings, you're planning on leaning on your offense here, or your defense. You're planning on leaning on your defense to win, to put you in a position for your offense to do just enough to not fumble the game away.
And what did Cincinnati have? 5 turnovers in this game?
Oof, yeah, 5 turnovers. You're never going to win. You're not going to win that game. It's crazy to think the Vikings, when they had Favre, the miracle year in 2009, where they could have went to the Super Bowl, they had 5 turnovers in that game, and it was, what, an overtime game? And
You
in this
just don't.
game, they won by 38 points. Jesus.
Five turnovers, and they were in that game. Imagine if they just
Wild.
held on. If they just held on to the ball.
Once again, Jordan Love sucks playing on the road. I love when
go
everybody
back
was
and forth
putting
so
it.
much on Jordan Love. Sometimes he looks like, an amazing quarterback that's going to do great things for them, and sometimes he just looks like a guy. And I don't like that he's not that consistent. But it's Green Bay, so hopefully he can do what he needs to do for them. But speaking of Green Bay, the second loudest cheer of the day probably came when they showed that Packers-Browns footage.
That's amazing.
I love how petty that is. That's amazing.
Such a fun rivalry.
Yes, I'm expecting with this game.
And I'm not a Packer hater. I don't think either of you guys really hate them either.
Well, they can go to hell, but mostly I hate the city of Philadelphia. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
In division rivalry, it's always fuck the Packers, but it's mutually friendly.
I used to hate
whatever. I hate you.
I used to really hate the Saints, but then I realized it wasn't so much the Saints that I hated as it was Sean Payton.
Right.
It was definitely Sean Payton that
I
I
could have
disliked.
definitely gotten behind that. If it was any other team, any other year in the NFC Championship game versus us, I would have never cared about the Saints because that is a crazy good story, and Drew Brees is a class act. But yeah,
I love Drew Brees.
Sean Payton is a D-bag, and so is Dennis Allen. They can go fuck off.
It's a shame that Drew Brees, who, like you said, was one of the all-time greats, got stuck with a douche like Sean Payton. But they worked together well, and they won a lot of football games.
Here's what I was going to say about this game, though, and this is where my mind's at. I don't know if the Vikings will win both of these games. That Cleveland defense is no joke. The key
But it's also Cleveland.
Well, that's the thing. You have Joe Flacco is, 40 years old. Aaron Rodgers, I trust more than Joe Flacco just because I've seen it for longer. But they're old. They are football old. Let's call a spade a spade. If the Vikings can make out 1-1 in these 2 games and they go into the bye at 3-2, I think we feel decent about the team. If they somehow win both of these games and they go in 4-1, I mean, you're feeling pretty good. I'm not feeling good at all about the Eagles game, regardless of when that happens. But I would feel much better about it. They just need to go into these international games and win at least one of them. And I think that's very possible. But I will say I don't think either one of these are a give-me game.
Does Joe Flacco have more Super Bowl rings than Aaron Rodgers? Or do they have the same amount? It's escaping me right now.
Oh, no, they're tied. Yeah, they have one.
Rodgers has 1. Yeah, Flacco has 1.
I thought you were asking a trick question, like he was on the bench somewhere recently, and I was like,
no.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. That's what I was wondering too. I was like, did he ride the bench as a backup and get one?
One of low-key the best Super Bowl runs ever, postseason runs, I should say. Joe Flacco in the playoffs.
Super Bowl run was wild.
It was 11-0 for touchdowns to interceptions. Shit, it's gonna be hard pressed to beat that. That's pretty crazy. If they can go through these international games at least 1-1. Obviously, you want 2-0, but I'd feel a lot better. But we'll find out. I am unfortunately not. I'm going to miss half of both of these games because church is at 9, and it starts at 9:30 Eastern. That's the only thing I can't stand is London's only 5 hours ahead. So 5 hours, 9 plus 5 is 2. You can't have that game at 4 p.m. that time? Really? Really? 9:30 in the morning? And I know everyone in California that's a Vikings fan is like, hey, asshole, that's every week for us. Well, you live in California. You suck. Get over it. I don't know. I hate that for us, but I'll at least get to see the second half, so that's all right.
And I'll actually get to watch the game on my NFL Plus subscription, which I somehow still have.
I say Rodgers scored more points than the Packers yesterday. That's incredible.
That's an all-timer.
Oh, Lions lead 7-0. Okay. Andrew has faith. He says they're going to win both of them. UK fans are like home games. There are a lot of international Viking fans. That is true. I hope they do. I'm rooting for the team. I know you guys, I'm probably the worst pessimist out of the 3 of us on the show. I do want the team to win. I get PTSD from thinking of all the crazy shit they've done, and it'll be new and crazy ways that they find ways to lose again. That's the one thing you can count on with this team. When they lose, they'll find a creative new way you haven't thought of yet, and you'll be like,
Yeah,
I didn't know that was
you're right.
possible.
You're right. Sometimes I go from being mad with this team to being like, you found a new way to do it. I'm a little impressed with that. What I am really worried about is that, like, let's use Sam Darnold as an example. Sam Darnold came in, he had a fantastic season for the Vikings. When it mattered the most, he turned back into a pumpkin. Okay? He kind of went back to where he was. Carson Wentz, is he going to have that same arc? Is it going to be shorter? Like, I don't know what we're going to get, because there had to. What's the reason why that he spent so long before an NFL team signed him? Like, no
The
one
rise
was
and fall of the Pastronaut.
right on, man. Like, we've seen this with other kind of journeyman quarterbacks who have came in. Like, you get the Kevin O'Connell rub. How long does it last?
Here's
Is
the
it
reason
sustainable?
I think yes. He's on his sixth team in 6 years. Sam Darnold, at least he was only like 27, 28. Wentz, I believe, is in his 30s, and he's a little older. He's not like dinosaur old in the NFL, but he's up there. He's a true veteran. He's never really looked the same since that MVP year. He had one good season after, but the majority of it was pretty middle of the pack or less than desirable. We're definitely going to see McCarthy again, but I just hope it's not like the wheels fall off of the car bad.
I know.
That's what I'm hoping doesn't happen.
That's doomsday scenario.
When he scared me yesterday, you guys have been praising him. I saw 4 or 5 throws where it was like he's twitching, and I'm like, that's not a pump fake. He's twitching the ball. Oh my God, don't do something stupid. And thank the Lord he didn't do that. But you can go back and watch the condensed tape. It's in there,
like,
but it's.
Oh, I know.
No, you're right.
You said it, Kyle, and they said it on the national media today, and it's such a good point. All he has to do in this offense is be the point guard. Just distribute the fucking ball. I don't need you to run around and act like.
I don't need you to play hero ball.
Like, you don't have to be Josh Allen in this offense. That's not what we're going to ask you to do.
If it's not there, just sideline it. Just throw it away. Live another down. We got a good running back.
And somebody said it up here. It was funny. It's like, I laughed my ass off when he tried to outrun that defensive end. Brother, you are not that athletic anymore.
Yeah.
You're big and you're strong and you are a little fast, but not a lot fast.
Yeah. And
he did the decision making, like when he dropped back, he was thinking about rifling that one deep, and then said, no, I'll keep this one.
Right on, man. And if he's gonna do as a quarterback, if you're gonna do something stupid, like, you get the something stupid pass every couple games that you're like, you got to try it. You got to see what happens. Just make sure it's 18 on the other side of it. Like, if you're going to do something dumb with the football, make sure you're at least throwing it in his direction, because that's a 50-50 ball when it's Justin Jefferson out there. I don't want to see you doing stupid shit with, like, Jordan Naylor on the other end of the line or Adam Thielen on the other end.
That seemed to be his favorite target was Jalen Naylor.
Yeah. But don't be doing that. Like, if you're going to be dumb with the ball, be dumb with Justin Jefferson. He might bail you out of it.
Hey, you know what, Kyle? If it's 3rd and 11 or whatever it was against the Giants at home in the wild card, you know who would have rifled it to Justin Jefferson? Carson Wentz.
Brett Favre.
Carson Wentz would have done it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up for no reason at all.
So I got to ask you guys, because at that game I booed the refs quite a bit, and I want to know if they.
Thank you. You are reading my mind. This comment right
there's
here.
Our donkey.
The refs. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
You're reading my mind, Adam. You know what? Maybe we're on the same page.
Did Christian Darrisaw even move when he was called for a false start?
I wasn't even thinking that, honestly. There was a pass interference call, and I forget what corner it was on, but he turned his head around, and I'm like, that's the one and only thing you're looking for. What are you fucking talking about?
And then didn't they call like a helmet hit on a hit where they didn't even touch the helmet?
I understand why they called that, but they also could have picked that up and been like, he hit his shoulder.
That was a legal hit.
He hit. Yeah, in 2008, that's a legal hit all day. This is a good point. Clay Matthews, of all people, I fucking hate you. I hate your stupid long hair. I hate your stupid fucking hair. Clay Matthews.
Real aggressive there.
I know, dude. I'm so hyped about this. This is such a good idea. He was on Bussin' with the Boys, and he said, hey, I got a great idea. Why don't we get those in-between players? You know, the average NFL career is 3 years. Or if there are guys that just want to do it for the love of the game, but find the guys who actually played football, had cleats in the grass, in the turf, in the NFL, and hire them full-time as referees. Who else is better to do that? Why have we not said that out loud and put that in the universe yet?
Yeah.
That makes so much more sense. And I get it. You don't want to do it like in 2026, we will have all ex NFL players. No, 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 no. These part time guys can be hired full time too. This is year like 700 of us saying, hire the referees full times, you assholes. Be better. Do that. That's such a good idea. I heard that today on TikTok and I was like, this seems like the most obvious thing in the world. How is this not out there yet?
And a lot of people were really confused how they had the virtual measurement, and then Cincinnati challenged it and they won.
Oh,
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing, Adam.
I mean, I know the spot of the ball changed, not the line of gain, but still, it's weird.
It's weird, and I still feel like it takes too long.
It took forever in the stadium.
I'm like, well, okay, so it's not just me. I'm like, why is this taking longer than when we had two 80-year-olds with a metal chain that could leisurely walk out to the field and you just... I'm like...
Do you know how spoiled we are? They kicked the shit out of the Bengals so bad yesterday, I don't remember being upset about them winning a challenge. Normally that would be a talking point on the show. I forgot that even happened.
I believe there was a missed helmet-to-helmet call on Carson Wentz as well, too.
That or a face mask. Yeah, one of those.
It's either face mask or helmet-to-helmet.
And I know they missed a defensive holding on Cincinnati, too, that I was really mad about.
I forget. I'm trying to think of the corner, if it was McGlothern or whoever, but yeah, at the last moment, he turned his head around, and I was screaming at the TV. I was like, that's the lone one thing you're looking for. It was great coverage. He didn't have a great grade on the day, but I didn't feel like that was fair. But yeah, you're right. That should be our donkey. The referees needed to do better in this game, and they still won.
And I feel bad booing referees because I know they're doing their work. It's not easy, and it is tough work, and you're making decisions on the fly. After seeing something once. But come on, guys, come on.
Adam, I'm so happy that you got to go to that game, and you're 10-0 at Vikings game. That's crazy.
They got to make those stairs in that stadium a little less steep because, boy, my legs were killing me.
It's a steep incline, isn't it?
It is.
Dude, I'll tell you what's crazy too is I saw it last night or whenever they showed the highlights for that Chargers game, that LA stadium. I didn't realize it, because when you're in it, you're just like ooh ah about everything because it looks so cool, and they had that giant circular screen. But they told me when I went to that stadium how they built it. They actually have the first part foundation, which is really thick and should battle against earthquakes pretty well. They said they built that stadium like a shot glass instead of out. So every seat you felt like you were leaning over into the field, which is awesome. But it made me think of that. I was like, we had seats in the lower section. I didn't climb those stairs. I get kind of vertigo when I go that high, and it scares me, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on right now.
Up in the 300s, if you're taking those steps up, you feel like it's a goat path, man.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Because when I went to the home opener at US Bank Stadium against Green Bay, I had nosebleeds up in the 300s, and yeah, that was scary walking up the steps. You're a big man, you're picturing yourself tumbling down the stairs, and you're like, is that railing going to stop me?
Oh, no. That's a terrible thing to think about. That Akuta hit was helmet hitting the shoulder pad and sliding in the neck. So, yeah, it was a crown. Yeah, leading with the crown of the helmet's always a tough one because they want to say you're like, I guess the intent would be to injure, and you got to be better than that. I just call it football. As long as it's not a blatant, I'm going to try to do like an actual ram and smash you in the head. Like, and what if you leave with the crown of your helmet and you hit somebody in the sternum?
That's okay.
It just makes me wonder, like, how much of throwing a flag should be based on intent rather than result.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now we know if that was a quarterback all day long, that would be called, and we would kind of expect it. But yeah, on a receiver,
Carson Wentz.
Or Sam Darnold last year. Remember that face mask? And then they had the perfect one where his head's back this way, and in the background you could see the blurry silhouette of the ref just watching everything happen. That's my conspiracy. What conspiracies do you believe in? I don't think games are rigged, but I do think they're slightly elbowed. You notice how Vegas is almost never wrong?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I don't know.
Tough to prove.
Right now, I think we're all riding kind of high because we think the Vikings have some potential. And I don't know if we're excited about Carson Wentz, but the team is in a position now where they should be able to win a couple games or at least be highly competitive for the next few at least. So there's optimism.
I think we all know that even if Carson Wentz plays phenomenal, it's not sustainable. Like,
Right.
I don't know if any of the three of us would sit here and say, well, if Carson Wentz goes on a roll, we're winning the Super Bowl with him. Like, we've been down that path. I truly don't think that would happen. Weird things can happen. I don't know if we're that lucky here in Minnesota. I'm still hopeful that there's a path for JJ McCarthy to get back on the field and continue to develop and grow. But we can win some football games in the process with him.
Yeah, that's very well said.
Thank you. I try. I make it up as I go.
Sometimes I start a sentence and even I don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
That's this entire podcast history. Is we're just winging it. We're just going to wing it.
We used to take notes. Remember that?
I had pages of notes for each show. It was baffling.
I remember walking around 10 years ago at this time, being on the show full time, and we recorded a Skype episode, and it didn't work, and we had to do it all over again. My ex-wife was pissed. She's like, "You were supposed to be up here 45 minutes ago." I was like, "I got bad news. We actually have to do it over again." Oh, she was so mad. Yeah. I think that's why I'm so jacked and hyper tonight. Is I couldn't believe this happened, and this is the roller coaster of emotions with this team. I said it before this season started. I don't think this is a Super Bowl team. I won't say they're capable. I don't think that it's going to happen for them. But it is nice to see after a rough game one and a even worse game two. It's like, oh, that's closer to the team that I expected and remember even a year ago. Yep. So that's cool. And I'm totally with you, Kyle. I don't think you want Wentz for the entire year. But if there's 4 or 5 games he has to play this year, I think he'll do fine.
It's an exciting idea to think of what J.J. McCarthy could look like if he really got his development down this season and found the rhythm and got things rolling. It's interesting to think of what this offense could look like with him.
Yeah. I'm hopeful that he'll get it figured out. It's just the going through the motion. It's kind of like when you do a workout. You kind of got to eat your vegetables. You got to go through the suck a little bit, but the end result might be worth it. And like I said earlier, I can sit here all day and tell you I don't think it's going to work, and that might be how I feel. Might not be how I feel. The Vikings are going to take their chance because they drafted the kid 10th overall.
Right.
So they've got to give him a chance. I'm going to keep telling myself every week when I get frustrated, you have to give him time, and you have to trust that Kevin O'Connell knows what he's doing. Because up until this point, he knows what he's doing.
One of the hardest things to do is to be patient.
Yep.
And it is a tough, especially, when you're doing things in life too, it's hard to be patient and let things happen because you want everything done immediately. You want everything to work right away. And you know what? Sometimes it don't.
And it's crazy too if you think, just look in the division. Caleb Williams was very up and down last year. Coach gets fired. They bring in the offensive, shiny toy. Everything's in place. Through 2 games, you're like, is he a bust? And then yesterday, he looks like USC Caleb Williams, where you're like, holy shit, this is the best game he's ever played. It's only 3 weeks in, and even the national media is on, YouTube and on live TV today, like, well, Caleb Williams is finally going to get it figured out. It's like, all right, guys.
So I have not been on Minnesota sports media today. What is the narrative for the J.J. McCarthy Carson Wentz thing right now?
I didn't watch anything today as far as Vikings media. I watched the national stuff. They didn't really cover the Vikings game because it got so out of hand. I know that Ben Lever was super pumped last night.
I know that CBS changed coverage for some people.
Yeah, it was so bad. If you didn't have NFL Network or the Sunday Ticket package, it'll get changed if it was local for you.
We have changed you to a more competitive game.
I didn't expect that. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear anything. I wasn't looking, truthfully. I just know
I have not heard, but I'm interested to hear what people are going to say.
I think a lot of fans...
I'm not going to say, hey, go listen to Colin Cowherd, but I'm sure he's going to have something to say.
I think a lot of fans are in the same boat kind of that we are on this episode, is that everyone's happy that Carson Wentz came in. He provided some stability. I think everyone recognized that maybe it was a little soon for McCarthy. There's a lot of folks that are doing the wink, wink, nod, nod. towards the injury on him. I think a lot of people really feel that it was more of a soft benching, and to kind of give the kid maybe a little more time to get acclimated behind the scenes and prep and study and maybe calm down a little bit. I think I haven't seen anyone who's truly out on him. Most people are saying that it's not. So there's this comparison that goes around that's not fair that people are throwing out, where they're saying, well, Peyton Manning was terrible for his first year. Peyton Manning was terrible for his first year. That was also a terrible Colts team. The difference with J.J. McCarthy is that this is a good Vikings team. So it's just throwing him out there and saying, be awful for a year is doing a disservice in a way to the rest of the Vikings roster, because we can't afford to be terrible for a season and just let him grow. I think that that's the big discussion around McCarthy right now, is that people understand that it takes time to develop. We don't feel like we have time to let him to fully develop right now.
Yeah.
But we are in that interesting point in the Vikings right now where the head coach got an extension, the GM got an extension. So right now they are probably not feeling any sort of hot seat right now. They are just going to roll with what they think is right, and I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to be like, hey, if I get this quarterback decision wrong, I'm out on the street. That's not the way it's going to work for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it earlier. I think they nailed it with the head coach. I would have been fine if Jim Harbaugh was here, but if it didn't work out that way, it wasn't supposed to. Kevin O'Connell was the choice. He's been excellent, and
we also forget we're old heads, and we still think how the NFL was ran 15 years ago. You also got to remember, guys, that it's not unheard of, and I'm not calling McCarthy a bust. We have no idea. But if it doesn't work for J.J. McCarthy, it's the new NFL. You pivot and you move on, and
right.
it sucks. You can just trade him, and you can get nothing for him, and you can pivot and move on. And so long as you win,
and we can roll Desmond Ridder after that. You're so right.
Yeah,
got it. It was weird seeing him on the screen yesterday. It's already weird enough seeing Carson Wentz, and I looked and it was like, oh shit, I forgot Desmond Ridder is a Viking quarterback. Ugh. I don't like that. Hopefully he never plays.
Maybe we can get Derek Carr out of retirement.
Oh, boy.
It's crazy. I heard him on a couple of interviews, and we like to make fun and say all that stuff. It's insane the amount of knowledge these dudes have, and we don't scratch the surface of even getting in the front door. And you're like, and he's a nice guy too. He turned down $30 million. He definitely could have been like, I'm fine, and then just got the money. But he was like an actually honest player. Then I also looked up what he made, and I'm like, yeah, $30 million ain't shit to you.
Yeah.
You made that in your rookie deal. Get out of here.
We make fun of Carson Wentz a little bit for being past his prime, maybe not the best, whatever. But it's you do forget, man, that if you take there are 32 quarterbacks in the NFL, and if you lump in college quarterbacks that are actually worth a shit right now, Carson Wentz is still in the top 50 people who can play the quarterback position in the entire U.S. right now.
In the world, I would guess. I mean, not counting retired, Tom Brady could probably still do it, but
in the universe.
There we go. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. We could go so many different ways on that stuff, man. It's so funny. The rabbit hole.
I'm happy for Carson, man. I'm happy for him. Let's write it out.
He looked so happy during the press conference.
It sure does. It's a good story. I don't know how long it's going to last, but let's ride that wave. And when the time comes, I hope McCarthy gets an opportunity and he goes out there and he shows that he deserves to be that high draft pick and the future for the Vikings.
Sure.
That's the best scenario.
But that's all I really got for this week. Do you guys got anything else you want to add?
That's it. Let me type up your guys' at here.
I will add while you are typing that I am so tired of Travis Kelce taking his helmet off and throwing fits on the sideline and just calm down, dude. You've won.
I swear that Jason Kelce's doing more now than he ever did as a player.
Yeah, that too. But Travis Kelce, calm down. You've won at life. You'll be okay. You'll be fine.
And who knows, maybe Taylor Kelsey will be that way too.
Yeah.
All right,
never know.
here we go.
You can check out my work over on the Viking Age. I haven't posted over there in a couple days because I was on vacation, but back to the grind tomorrow. You can also check me out on social media at MNVikingZombie. I am on any sort of social media that you can probably imagine. So add me and let's talk about stuff.
Stuff and things.
Oh yeah.
You can find West here.
Over on Blue Sky is my social media platform of choice. Give me a follow if you would like. We're coming into October time. I watch horror movies all year round, but October is always the time of year that we watch more horror movies, right, Adam?
28 years later just came to streaming.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
That's my next one I am going to watch. I haven't seen it yet.
That's on my
either.
list.
I heard from a friend they do some interesting things.
I heard that I'm going to see something I don't want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard correctly. I didn't see it either, but I heard the same thing. I'm not going to plug anything. I don't have any. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys. Happy Adam got to go. I'm happy that the Vikings won, and they did it in crazy fashion. I'm not happy that it's going to be 9:30 Eastern for this one, but you know what? Can't complain. Football season's here, and I did watch a healthy amount of horror movies this weekend, so that was fun. I watched back-to-back both versions of I Spit on Your Grave, and good.
Boy, that's a wild ride.
And they are kind of different, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are kind of different. It's just fun to watch the different cinematography and, you know, the different, obviously different eras. One's going to look better visually, but man, what a crazy. You imagine pitching that to a studio and be like, hey, this is what we want to make.
Oh, people boycotted
I'm sure they did.
The original one. Like, that was... Yeah.
The same as when they did Last House on the Left. When they remade that, and people were like, this movie does not need to be remade.
Adam's going to yell at me because you guys have mentioned this before, and obviously I listened, but I never used it. But my smart TV here, you have a bunch of apps preloaded. Dude, Tubi rules.
Tubi fucking rocks.
Tubi is awesome. I didn't know they were so horror heavy.
Oh,
they are.
And yeah, there's a lot on there that I could go through. I could probably watch a movie a night for at least 2 months and not watch the same thing. So I'm excited to dive into that. There's a couple on there that I've always seen floating around that are maybe mid-tier of the horror movies, and I'm excited to dive into them. But it's right around the corner, man. I can feel the weather about to change. I'm excited for fall.
And we will be back next week to talk about that game against the Pittsburgh Steelers over in Ireland. And it's a early morning game, so I will not be very awake. But I will also try to hop in the Discord, which, again, was going pretty good. I sent a couple messages and photos while I was in the game to the Discord. So if you guys ever want to chat during the game, hop on in, and at least I'll try to be there. And also, if you can leave some sort of, rating, or I don't know what people do with podcasts these days, but share us with your friends. We love having you guys in here. We had a nice crew all night, and hopefully we'll be back next week. In the meantime, stay classy,